Hey everybody, this is Nancy. Welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about the most infamous of planetary retrogrades, which is Mercury retrograde. So whether you're into astrology or not, you've all heard about the dreaded Mercury retrograde. So what is it? Which people will be affected by it the most? And what part of your life will be the most affected by Mercury retrograde when it happens? What does it mean for you specifically? And how can you find that out? I'll show you how you can do it by looking at your birth chart in a minute. But before we start, I'm just going to explain to you what Mercury retrograde is. So when a planet goes retrograde, it's when it appears to be moving backwards in its orbit. And of course, it's not really going backwards. It's just an optical illusion, much like how when we pass a vehicle on the highway, it looks like the vehicle's being pulled backwards as we pass it. This happens to Mercury about 3 times per year, and it will often last about 3 weeks. So Mercury rules over how we communicate, our intellect, and mental processes. When Mercury goes retrograde, there's a bigger chance of more miscommunication happening, more misunderstandings. So check your emails. You want to make sure that you're sending them to the right person. This actually happened to a friend of mine when she was at work complaining about a coworker. She accidentally sent it to that coworker. So double check your schedule to make sure that you don't mark down the wrong dates or miss any of your appointments. So you get the general idea. So who does Mercury retrograde affect the most? So the people who have important Gemini and Virgo placements in their birth chart will be the most affected because Mercury rules over those signs. And so in other words, if you have your sun sign or your rising sign in Gemini or Virgo, or if you have these signs in your 10th house of career and public image, you're going to be affected more than most. And it's because it rules over your first house of self and also your work. Now, if you don't have Gemini or Virgo prominent in your chart, Mercury does rule the 3rd house, natural ruler of the 3rd house of communication, and it also rules the 6th house of wellness, routines, and daily schedules. So look at those houses and see if there are any planets in those houses that will be affected. But I'm going to show you how to pinpoint exactly where in your chart you can look to with each specific Mercury retrograde period to see where it's going to hit you. So as I said earlier, the next Mercury retrograde will begin on April 21st at 15 degrees in the sign of Taurus. And it's going to station direct at 5 degrees Taurus. So what that means is at 15 degrees of Taurus, it's going to start stationing, meaning stationing means that it's going to appear to stop moving forward and it's going to slowly drift backwards into its retrograde. And then from there, it's going to retrograde all the way back to 5 degrees of Taurus, where it will station once again. It'll appear to stop in its orbit, and then it will go back direct. So what you should do is grab your birth chart and look at where Taurus is on your wheel. Now I'm using a friend's birth chart because she's got a lot going on in the sign of Taurus. So you want to find any placements, any planets between 15 degrees and 5 degrees in the sign of Taurus, because Mercury retrograde will pass over these placements and it'll be conjunct to these placements during the retrograde, and it's going to activate them. So you can see that my friend has her Saturn that's located at 9 degrees Taurus, and her Venus is at 6 degrees. And this is in her 11th house of friendship, community, social groups. So these 2 placements are going to be taking a direct hit. Now, sometime during the retrograde, this means that there could be a course correction that she'll need to look for in this area of her life Now, with Saturn being involved, it could be a lesson. Maybe she needs to say no to some people in her life instead of always saying yes to people. Maybe putting herself ahead of other people's needs if too much of this is going on. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe she needs to start saying yes more instead of saying no. She'll know exactly what that means in that area of her life. She'll have that, her intuition and her gut will tell her what needs to happen in order to make that course correction in that area. And then before Mercury stations direct again, it's also going to be pinging on her Venus. So she's going to have to make sure that things are a-okay in her love life over that 3-week time span. So no miscommunications going on in the love life. Okay. So that's how you find out how each one of these Mercury retrogrades are going to affect you directly in your life. As you pull out your birth chart is there for you. It's your map, it's your guide. It tells you everything that you need to know. Okay, so if you found this message to be valuable, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be covering more great information to help you. And I'm hoping that you all have a great day. All right, take care.